Welcome everybody. As with anything in crypto, projects that become popular enough will be used by scammers to steal from their users. And we see every single day hundreds and hundreds of new tokens, coins, cryptocurrency is coming out promising high gains. What's up, YouTube community? Welcome to InvestAsk, your #1 channel for cryptocurrency investing, daily news, forecasts, and updates. My name is Syed, and in this video, I'm going to unpick the concept of rug pulling. In other words, how do you identify whether a crypto that you're about to invest in or thinking of investing in is legit or a scam? But first things first, let me get the record straight. I'm not a financial advisor, so whatever you invest within the crypto space is at your own risk. And all this information here is provided just because of my own research. And those of you who do not know me, I have a degree in finance and a PhD, and I regularly do all of my research before I even think about investing in any crypto or any other stock. So with that out of the way, super excited to dive into taking a look at how do you identify a legit versus a scam crypto stock. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all of your support that you've given to your own InvestDesk channels. So let's dive right in. And first, we're going to take a look at what is a scam and how does it work? What goes behind the scenes in a cryptocurrency or crypto token that is being offered for new investors? So, like I mentioned earlier, as with anything in crypto, projects have become popular enough and they'll be used definitely by scammers to steal from their users. And for example, Uniswap is no different exchange platform. So let me give you an example. For example, Uniswap is no different, right? So there are many ways that bad actors can or use Uniswap as a tool for scams. And how liquidity locking, I'm going to talk about this, very important, was created to prevent those scams and the unique flexible approach that has been implemented. So when a market is created, for example, on Uniswap, the liquidity provider, also known as the LP, right, deposits an equal value of 2 tokens to create a pair. So the depositor receives a pool token in return with just an ERC20 token representing their stake in the pool. Now the pool token may be redeemed at any time for an equal value amount of both tokens based on the value at the time of redemption. So think about this. Let me give you a simpler example. So the liquidity pool has 2 things in it, right? One, let's say apples, the other one is oranges. So you have, for example, Ethereum, and then you have the token itself. And that kind of balances each other out. Now, the problem that arises from the ability to remove liquidity at any time was not that all the tokens are listed on the markets, then buyers get stuck with a bag and no way to sell it. So in the case of scammers, for instance, they would create and promote a new token and provide a large amount of liquidity to the pair, simply tricking buyers into thinking the token has a healthy market and possible future. Now, once enough people, of course, buy into the new token, they would redeem, these scammers would redeem all their liquidity tokens and receive all the Ethereum from the pool, for instance. Now, of course, that's pretty easy, right? And that makes sense. To prevent this, the concept of liquidity locking was created. Now, before I talk about liquidity locking, whatever I just mentioned is also known as rug pulling, right? Because when these scammers take all the Ethereum out of the pool, which, as I mentioned earlier in my example about apples and oranges, right? So if oranges are your token and apple is your Ethereum, they would take just all the Ethereum out and you'll be left with nothing. So to prevent this, the concept of liquidity locking has now been created and being used by many new tokens coming out. That's not enough, guys. The process of liquidity locking is basically simple. The pool's token movement is restricted by a time-based function. So the developer writes a function and creates a function that's a time-based function. This means that once the restriction is set, they cannot be moved or redeemed until the pre-selected time has passed. So the LP can be locked for 2 years, for 5 years, for 7 years. And we see that in tokens also who have come up with their own white papers. Now, this gives users more confidence, of course, in the markets that they are investing in, because They know that for at least the next 2 years or 5, whatever years, the market must exist in some form. There will be, in other words, no rug pulling all of a sudden. Since the code of a contract is generally public, and you can see the code on GitHub for any of these tokens, by the way, standards have been created along with simple tools that anyone can use to verify the process was done correctly. So the best thing forward for these tokens, these new tokens, of course, is the audit. And I'm going to get into audit a little bit later on, maybe another video, but that's a very important aspect of all of these cryptocurrencies. So if they're claiming high returns, if they're giving you something that is too good to be true, then yeah, we need to get them audited as soon as possible. Now, just because of this liquidity pool and the safety that it provides doesn't mean still yet that scammers cannot move forward with their own agenda. Unfortunately, liquidity locking is not enough. To get around this, by the way, what scammers do, they use another tactic. What they do is they mint more tokens. Now, it doesn't matter if the pair you're trading has liquidity locking if the team can create infinite tokens. While there are other tricky things, of course, these scammers can do, and we're simply going to focus here on liquidity locking and, of course, the hidden mint functions. Now, the ERC20 token standard, for example, has a few functions, but let's focus on minting first. You can search this term, of course. You can Google it if you want to in any contract, for example, to see when it's used. And you should do this for all the new contracts you interact with. So a simple search for this word can end up saving you a lot of money, by the way. Just make sure that you understand what minting is all about, and that's what I'm talking about. And if you do this enough times, things that are clearly out of place will definitely start to stand out in front of you, and you can make an informed decision whether to invest in this new cryptocurrency token or not. Now, this can be simpler or more complex depending on the contract you're looking at. You will need to compare what the people who launched the token are saying to what's in the code. And this is very, very important, guys. Every time you are thinking of investing in a crypto token, in a new token, promises high gains or whatever it is, you need to understand, you need to find out what is behind the scene, who the developers are, right? So compare what the people who launched the token are saying to what's in the code. So these two statements need to match. So the code needs to match what the creators are saying. And once you add all the mechanics in, like staking, burn, rebase, for example, things can get, of course, more complex, and hiding things become easier. So one of the ways you can identify whether a new token, the ERC20 token that is promising high gains, is whether it's a scam or legit. Minting and, of course, the LP locking are the two areas that you need to look into. And of course, the third aspect is whether the creators are in the same line as the code itself. So just because the token is getting all hyped up on Twitter, on Reddit, and other social media, that does not mean it is a legit, or could not possibly mean until and unless you do your own research and homework. Let me give an example of a scam that was about 4 to 5 months or about 6 months ago. This was hot dog, right? Because the price of hot dog was from $1 to $4,000 in the first 5 minutes, and from $4,000 back to $1, and boom, it's gone. The rug was pulled. And these were the two, of course, DeFi protocols to pump and dump. Worthless tokens, of course, hot dog, and I believe another one was pizza, as the food meme and the trend, of course, continues moving forward. So hot dog token, for example, skyrocketed to highs of $6,000 in just a few hours, according to the charts in uniswap.info. You can go check those out if they're still available. It appears that the early adopters then sold off after the dump, which included an epic dump smashing the token back to $1 in just 1 hour. That's rug pulling. So this particular scam is made possible by simply the nature of Uniswap's decentralized exchange that allows anyone to create and list any token. Now, once a little liquidity is provided to it with some Ethereum, the owners can artificially inflate the token price by controlling the Ethereum. And once enough, of course, gullible farmers, users have flocked to the platform and deposited their money, liquidity, the tokens are then dumped, resulting in what has just happened with these hot dogs. So the pump and dump, of course, was observed by the crypto community. Now, the key takeaway, very, very important. For example, the hot dog thing, what do we learn from this? That you should not be tossing money at projects without researching just because Uniswap coins are the trend. Very, very important, guys. At the same time, if you are willing to invest in crypto space, then you need to ensure that you do your own research. DYOR. And I keep saying that almost in every other video that I create or live stream that I do. And this channel, Invest Desk, is your #1 crypto channel where I try to bring as much as possible. I make a lot of effort so that you guys can be and stay informed. Let me give you another example quickly, and this is about SafeMoon that I have also personally invested in. Now, before investing in SafeMoon, of course, I did all of the due diligence, I did the research, and I brought it to Invest Desk as your #1 channel right here. And I showed you in our portfolio analysis that how I invested in SafeMoon and how to buy and what not to buy. And I attend the weekly meetings for developers. Now, some of you may also attend, may not be able to attend, but this channel right here is going to keep bringing you daily news updates and forecasts about cryptocurrency, and of course, all of the research right here as what I do best. So I hope you made it this far and it kind of makes sense, or even better, that you learned something new if you're new to the crypto space. Trust, by the way, is the most valuable thing known us to humans, and it can take a lifetime to earn, only a second to lose. And of course, it's often impossible to get back, just as the case of hot dog I gave an example. So do not trust some Twitter influencer or your other social media, for example. Learn how this stuff works. Understand, be smart, learn what to look for, learn how to spot the tricks, and of course, learn how to stay safe and secure your bag, your investments for the moon mission. And never forget the most important phrase in crypto: don't trust, verify. And all my videos, guys, that I put up on Invest Desk, I try to do as much research as possible. So I hope this helps. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate your support. And with this, I will see you in my next video.